Joining us this Monday morning now from Providence Business News is Mark Murphy, who comes in on Mondays. And the cover story has to do with the 195 redevelopment plans, which has been kind of slow, some folks would say, but now we're really starting to see an uptick on construction. So as I was reading it, it was interesting about they were saying developers didn't necessarily want to come in from out of state because they didn't think they had users for the projects they were developing. Can you talk a little bit about that and how it's changed?
Well, I think that we have to go back, and that is what was the original purpose of the I-195 Redevelopment District Commission. And so they were, it was designed to help facilitate and take out of the hands from the state and the city how things were going to be developed. So we started with 40 acres. That was the land that the I-195 captured. It actually was 19 acres of developable land because you had streets and utilities and everything else. And so the original message was, we're going to have this, we're going to create a new neighborhood. So a new neighborhood means businesses, but also means housing, and it means coffee shops and restaurants. And so a lot of the people who already lived there thought that it was all commercial, and so far you have the Wexford Innovation Center, which is being put up with a lot of help from the state. But you have the things that are really developing on their own are housing. A lot of it's
lots of
housing.
residential.
Yeah, and so there's still a lot of land in this district, and in the jewelry district, as Stephen Pryor, who's the Commerce Secretary for the state and lives in the jewelry district, says there are a lot of parking lots here. So it's not just that open land, but there's a lot of developable land.
Some folks from the area don't want to see as much residential. They're kind of against that in some ways, especially with the Fane Tower and all the controversy with that. How does this article address that?
Well, I think, again, we go back to what the original intent was, and we talked to a lot of people who were there originally. And number one, it took a while to develop because they had to, they had to deal with title issues because the land had been taken by eminent domain all the way back to the 50s. They had to put in a brand new set of utilities, and that just takes a while. And so when it was ready to go, and the idea being, we're not supposed to be, handing out a lot of state incentives for this, or city incentives, is you're going to wait and see what developers do. And so some developers have offered projects, and some have been rejected. Others have had projects and then walked away because the bureaucracy has been a little bit difficult. And of course, you have the Fane Tower, which is, right in a prime spot in the district, all residential. And so you have a lot of people saying, wait a minute, the cynic might say, well, this is going to drive the prices down for people who already live there. But Ruggiero, I think that's one of the things, is he proposed this tower 2 years ago and still hasn't gotten approval. And if one thing is known about Rhode Island, it's that the regulatory bodies are many and cross-purposed.
And developers want to move fast. They want to move fast, Mark. They want to put their money in and get their returns.
Well, and right now, the cost of materials has been going up over the last few years. It's difficult to get. There's a shortage in construction workers, so those costs go up. So every moment that some of these guys wait, or women wait, is the costs go up, and that doesn't really help them.
Right. Well, I moved to Rhode Island in 2002, and I heard all about these plans of moving 195, and I wasn't so sure, but it's happening. We've seen the bridge come in place, Wexford, et cetera, so we'll see when it really becomes a neighborhood, which will probably be in, the next 5 years, would you say? Well, I'm not going to put a timestamp on it. Let's not do that.
I wouldn't.
All right. We appreciate your coverage as always, and thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Allison.
Okay.